Good morning, students. So this is a continuation of the previous video process. In the last video, we have seen what are the different states of process and what are the schedulers and how to create the process and what are the things to take care during termination of the process. Now we are going to see different type of process. There are two different types of process: independent process and cooperating process. Independent process is it cannot affect or be affected by the execution of another process. Cooperating process can affect or be affected by the execution of another process. These are the two different processes. And what are the advantages of cooperating process? Information sharing, computation speed of modularity, convenience. These are the advantages of cooperating process. And cooperating process means they have to communicate each other. They will be affecting by each other, right? So they have to communicate. So for communication, there are two different methods. First one is shared memory systems and second one is message passing system. So let me explain the shared memory system first. So this is the pictorial explanation. This is message passing system. Suppose see process A and process B wanted to communicate, means there will be kernel. With the help of the kernel, they can send the messages. So like that they can communicate. But here we are not take the help of the kernel. There is one shared memory. Using that shared memory, process A and B can communicate. Whatever the things required by a process A to process B will be there in the shared memory. Process B can access from the shared memory data. And and the difference between shared memory and message passing system is shared memory is a region of memory shared by communicating process into which the information is written and read. Message passing is a message exchanging is done among the process by using object. And the second difference is useful for sending large block of data, shared memory. And message passing is not useful for a large amount of data, it is useful for small amount of data. And the third difference is system call is used only to create the shared memory. For message passing, it is not so for communication it is not required. But coming to message passing, for each and read and write operation, that with help of kernel is required or system call is required. And message send is faster if you are using for shared memory. Message is communicated slowly if you are going for message passing. So let me explain the shared memory concept first with the help of the producer-consumer problem. And before going in that, there are two type of buffers. Those buffers are known as unbounded buffer and bounded buffer. Unbounded buffer means there is no practical limit on the buffer size. Bounded buffer means there is a fixed size. You cannot store more than the size of the buffers, the items. So first let us see the producer-consumer problem using shared memory concept with the help of the bounded buffer. So here, see, buffer size is declared. So it is, suppose if your buffer size is 10, you can store only 10 items. More than 10 items is not possible to store. And here, this is the producer code, and producer will be producing the item and will be storing the item in the buffer. How many items they can store? They can store only buffer size. If buffer size is 10, they can store only 10 items. And this is the code for consumer. Consumer will be consuming the data from the shared memory. Shared memory is the buffer, and if the buffer doesn't have data, means it cannot remove the data. Otherwise, they can take the data. They cannot take the data more than buffer size, right? If it is 10, only 10 data they can take out. And the next one is message passing system. Message passing system process communicate with each other without resorting to shared variable. Like here we need two operations. So those two operations are send a message and receive message. And message size is fixed or variable. Can be fixed or variable. These two operations required, send message and receive message. A message size can be fixed or variable. And if P and Q wish to communicate, they need to establish a communication link first and exchange the message using send and receive. And the communication link can be physical, shared memory, physical and logical properties. And there will be two types of communication: direct communication and indirect communication. Direct communication example is see send P comma message. So that indicate message is sending to process P. So it is direct communication. Message is only to the process P. So receive Q comma message means receive a message from process Q. I can receive message only from process Q. So direct communication. Properties of communication link is links are established automatically. A link is associated with exactly one pair of communicating process. Between each pair there exists exactly one link. Between P and Q, only one link. The link may be unidirectional but is usually bidirectional. Can be uni or bidirectional. Like a send a P comma message means send a message to only to process P. Receive Q comma message means I can receive only from Q. So direct communication. Indirect communication means messages are directed and received from mailbox. There will be one mailbox. Each mailbox has a unique ID. Process can communicate only if they share a mailbox. Suppose some process P and Q. P and Q can communicate if they are sharing one particular mailbox. And properties of communication link is established only if process share a common mailbox. A link may be associated with the many process. Each pair of process may share several communication link. Link may be unidirectional or bidirectional. Here we need mailbox. So if P and Q is sharing mailbox means they can communicate. P and R is sharing mailbox means they can communicate like that. And here indirect communication operations are you have to create the mailbox, then send and receive message through mailbox and destroy the mailbox after the communication. And primitives are send a comma message that indicate send a message to mailbox A. Earlier it was send a message to a process. Now it is not like that. Indirect communication means send a message to a mailbox. Receive a comma message means receive a message from the mailbox A. Here A indicate the mailbox. And synchronization, message passing may be either blocking or non-blocking. Blocking is considered as synchronous, non-blocking is considered as asynchronous. Blocking send has a sender block until the message is received. So like I sent the one message under the under that message is received, block that sender is blocked. Blocking receive has the receiver block until the message is available. So until the message is available, this receiver is blocked. Non-blocking is considered as synchronous. Non-blocking send has a sender and send the message and continue. Continually it can send. They are not taking care of, they are not bothered of whether it is received or not. Non-blocking receive has the receiver receive a valid message or null. Null message also it can receive. But for synchronous, they cannot receive the null message. If the message is available, then only it can receive. Buffering. Queues of messages attached to the link implemented in one of three ways: zero capacity, bounded capacity, unbounded capacity. Zero capacity means sender must wait for receiver. Like there is no capacity. Like sender send, receiver accept. After that sender like that. Bounded capacity means n messages. Till n messages sender can send. Unbounded means infinite length. Sender never wait. I hope all of you understood topics. Cooperating process and cooperating process. So communication between cooperating process are through shared memory and message passing system. Thank you all.